has AI killed branding? Does branding still matter with AI search?
Yeah. So I found out somebody at the Arival conference said branding is dead because of AI. And that was right before I was about to give my talk. So really good provocative statement. Now, here's the thing. Those things are somewhat overblown. Here's why I would push back on that. Okay. So James LePage, he's the co-lead of the WordPress AI team. And I really like his framing of this, because he didn't say branding is dead. Like that's way overstatement. What he did say is your brand in the age of agentic AI, where AI is not just giving you recommendations back, but making decisions for you and taking actions for you. The point here is that your customer might never visit your website ever, right? If they're starting to use AI to do stuff for them. Here's a quote from him. Your brand, your voice, your perspective, the things that differentiate you from competitors, these get flattened when an agent summarizes your content alongside everyone else's. I think flattened is a really good way to describe what's going to happen, because think about how this has worked in the past. Traditionally, your goal has been to get people to your website where you make your pitch to them, and you're making your pitch to a human. Now, there's a barrier between you and the customer, and it's AI. And AI is going to do synthesis, right? And then make a decision or present information to the user. So here's the thing. When that happens, do you give up on branding altogether? Like that is the worst thing you can do. If the differentiators that you have are going to be through the filtering and distillation process are going to be softer and not as sharp, then it's important for your branding to be as sharp as ever. I mean, it's more important now than it ever has been that you have articulated what I call distilling. You've distilled your value propositions to their most potent elements, right? So if you're the best UTV rental in Pigeon Forge for families, not just like, families are, we get families all the time. Not that. I'm talking about like you've recognized that there's a massive market and you've decided from a positioning standpoint, we are going to be family focused. We're going to have the picnic kind of idea. We're going to talk about car seats. We're going to have people out there helping people get the car seat in this UTV because they've never attached a car seat to a UTV, all of this stuff, right? If your message is clearly articulated, you lean into that audience, you lean into that messaging. Now the key is, once that messaging is honed, get it everywhere that you can. Give up on the idea that my only hope is to get people through ads and through SEO, get people to my website. Like, okay, hopefully that still happens. But what if they don't? If AI reads what people are saying about you online, do they come to the conclusion that you are the best option for a family who wants a cool experience like this in the Smokies? That is now your goal. It's the normal goal of branding, except now you have a different customer, which is the AI itself. And you have to just think, if my messaging gets whittled down and smoothed over, think about it like putting rocks in a polishing drum, right? If that happens to my brand, what comes out at the other end? Is there anything recognizable that differentiates me by the end? So find your message, articulate it, sharpen it, and then make sure it's broadcast everywhere that you can. Now, here's a trick too. Part of where AI is going to get their information is customer reviews, forums, things like this. The more that you are clear with your customers about what it is that you care about and what you stand for, the more they're going to echo that back to other people in their reviews. So, of course, your experience has to match that too. But if you have clear, concise, memorable messaging and you pair it with a good experience, that maximizes the chance that AI is going to pick up on that in those reviews. So no, branding isn't dead in the age of AI. Now, here's the thing. To be honest, there's a threat. I mean, OTAs, they are what somebody called the data infrastructure for AI travel planning. More than your booking engine, more than anybody else, these companies are just going to plug into AI or let AI plug into them, right? And have a bunch of information, enough to make some decisions. But how do they do it? They're commoditization engines, right? They don't care about surfacing your brand in the way that you want, if at all. They think about structured data, and that's an AI. Any computer system wants structured data. How can I compare, right? So the issue here is the more OTAs play that game and the more AI leans into like, great, somebody's booking something, we need the structured data. That can be a challenge, right? So what do? You have to leverage the few fields that you can, particularly things like name and description. You have to get your brand messaging in there. Don't just describe what it is that this tour does. Don't just say this goes to the Golden Gate Bridge. You've got to have your brand messaging in there. So create a strong brand with sharp messages. And then that includes what your customers and influencers say. Make sure your influencers have the playbook, that you've given them that message as well. So that when they talk about you, yes, you want enough authenticity where you want to let them be able to say what they want to say, but you're going to have to shape some of the messaging that comes out of there.